No, you know what? Obviously, you want to get to all the speculation and what's percolating around Rasmus Anderson. That's pretty obvious. That's a hot topic, not just in your market in Calgary, but across the National Hockey League. And I mean, unless something is changing as we're having this conversation, there's nothing done yet. There is nothing done yet. But I can tell you that, trade conversation around Rasmus Anderson most definitely intensified as yesterday progressed. And, I think that's why we're hearing and seeing some of what we're hearing and seeing. And, this isn't a simple trade. For obvious reasons. He's an expiring contract. And so whatever the dance is, if they've narrowed down a team, and I'm going to be careful not to mention the team that I believe is probably most interested, just because I'm not 100% locked in on it.
Okay.
But when you're on an expiring contract and you're a player of this significance, I mean, isn't it pretty obvious the agent would have to be involved, and there would have to be conversations taking place as to what an extension looks like, potentially a sign and trade. What does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And then you work out and maybe you already have the parameters of what the return is for the Calgary Flames. And you're okay with that if you're Craig Conroy, but a deal first has to be made between the new team and the player to make sure that all of those pieces fall into place. And I'm not certain that that's what's gumming it up, but I do know with impeccable source as of last night that everything that was being speculated that this thing had legs of getting done in the very near future is legit to a point. There were many who were maybe mildly surprised that he was played last night.
Exactly. I was going to say it. Sure.
Yeah.
The vibes sure seem to be that, okay, he's playing. Well, it's maybe not, but it does feel like that's, we're tea leaves. You know more than we do, but it kind of has the vibes that the trade, the framework of a deal is more or less agreed upon in terms of players. It's now maybe is Rasmus signing an extension.
Yeah. But look, Craig Conroy's not an idiot. Let's give this man the benefit of the doubt and respect that he deserves. He's not putting a piece like that in the lineup if it's right there at the finish line. He's not doing that. I mean, what did he play? He almost played 27 minutes last night for the Flames.
They're not protecting him. They're playing him.
I mean, so when you're that close, historically, you know that they just hold players out. Or, I broke a signing last week, the James Reimer signing, while the Ottawa Senators were getting clubbed over the head by the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, deals and stuff happens while games are going on. And it's not unthinkable that if you're Conroy and you get to that place with the new GM and the agent is on board, where you hold that player out for the second, third period. I mean, we've seen that, not often, but we see that. So the fact that he played almost 27 minutes, now the clock is ticking. We're looking at tomorrow, right?
Okay.
What's happening tomorrow?
So Dean said it perfectly. We're reading tea leaves. You have actual really rock solid sources and talk to GMs. Just from what I've garnered in terms of like what we're hearing, whether it's rumor or real.
Yeah.
Boston sounds like they've made a legitimate offer. We've heard whispers of Detroit. It's a perfect fit for Dallas. Can they make it work with the money on an extension? That seems to be the challenge there because Robertson's an RFA this summer with 1 year away from you. Ottawa, apparently a bit of a dark horse here. They could use an upgrade on the right side. Vegas is a fit. And Carolina never seems to be out of these things. Are we missing anyone? Or how would you handicap that field?
Yeah. I mean, I guess Leafs Nation would go, what about Toronto?
Mm-hmm.
And we know the history of Brad Treliving trying to acquire this player. But when this thing was kind of growing legs yesterday, I checked with my Leaf sources and they didn't seem to have any idea that anything was elevating specific to Rasmus. So that tells us that they're probably not in the mix. Now, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And it's relatively quiet right now, but it could also be the calm before the storm. So, Tree likes to gum things up. That's part of his swagger as a general manager in the National Hockey League. So maybe he jumped back into the fray. I don't know. And I've heard Pinder, basically what you said, I've heard the same thing with all of those clubs.
Okay.
I have. And no one this morning from the majority of those teams is denying their involvement or their level of interest. I guess historically, I want to drill down and focus on the Vegas Golden Knights. And not because this is inside information and I'm kind of covering my tracks. No, that's not what I'm saying. The reason why I would put them at the head of the field is because look at the deals that this guy makes, Kelly McCrimmon. Look at the deals. And he has the history, with Noah Hannafin, and go down the list of
Tomas Hertl last year, right? The Hertl thing came out of nowhere.
Well, they also have the benefit of being in Vegas, great city, great fans, and great taxes. So when you talk about extension,
doesn't have a first round pick in 26, does have a first round pick in 27, 28. Other pieces that could be attractive in Calgary, of course. I would never, and until someone from the Vegas Golden Knights that I trust says, no, it's not us, then I'm going to keeping an eye on the Vegas Golden Knights just because history tells me that you have to do that. They're in a business collecting good players, and Rasmus Anderson definitely qualifies as that. If
you need to take a little social media timeout or text the GMs and break this trade on our show, we're fine with that, Drex. Just let us know. We'll give you 2.
Okay. Well, hold on. I just got a text here.
We'll play some music, or Rhett's a juggler. He'll do some party tricks.
He can sing Christmas carols any month. He's really good at that.
I'll say this: we were just kind of talking about it, and I kind of looked down and I saw you're in the room there. But if this deal goes down and Rasmus in fact has played his last game, it has shaped up as well as you could have hoped for Craig Conroy and the Flames. Rasmus Anderson said at the start of the year, this is not going to be a distraction. And you said it, it's a contract year, so he's going to play well. But the guy is, from what we could tell, healthy, has had one of his finest seasons. We talked about it. Minus 38 last year. He's now a +1 player. He's playing 23, 24 a night. His goals, he's
had the fight the other night.
He's going to have a career year in goals and probably points. I guess that'll depend on if and where he goes. But he has delivered in the best possible way for the Flames.
Yeah, I agree with that. And did you guys ever buy that as this thing continued to drift forward, that the notion that he would extend in Calgary was real or legit?
I mean, I would say very, very a non-zero chance, but I just thought it didn't match what they're trying to do, and the market was going to be so robust.
If they were in a better position in the standings,
that would
changes everything.
Yeah. So I would tend to agree with that assessment. Although somebody I trust, who is close to it, told me yesterday that it still wasn't, it wasn't a dead issue, that there was some plausibility to it happening. Right.
That's the track record here.
Yeah. But that was early in the day, and then as the day evolved, the trade talks intensified and got to the place where it feels like we still are today. I was comfortable, and I said it on air at TSN last night, that there wasn't a deal that was going to happen last night. Can I say that as firmly today? No, I can't say that. And mostly because, again, they've got another game coming. There's another game looming as early as tomorrow, but according to our sources, there's still a lot of work that's being done, around the entirety of what would make this trade happen.
So the rumored ask is a first and a ready-to-play prospect, like someone that's just emerging as an NHLer. Does that check out with what you're hearing?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. And I can't remember where I read it, but I thought somebody tweet the specifics of what they believe the Boston offer was?
Yeah, I saw Jimmy Murphy in Boston saying Lowry in a first, and I'd heard some whispers about Lowry as well. He's a big left shot D. They don't have a lot of left shot D, like it's Ball and then young guys in Hanley, and they're stacked on the right. Rasmus is going to be gone, but you still got obviously Uyghur and Bristevich and Parekh and Pahal and Muse is a couple of years away at Penn State. Like they got lots of righties coming.
Yeah, and look, I happen to be a fan of Lowry, but it's pretty evident that Marco Sturm doesn't see him as the player maybe I think he could be or might be with a little bit of time. So as soon as I saw it, and I appreciate you acknowledging Jimmy, because I couldn't recall who actually posted it, but I read it. I went, okay, that makes some sense. And then if it were to happen that way, it would be a great opportunity for Lowry. It would be, because I do think that he's a better player. He's just jammed up in Boston, right? But if it were that simple and that was a deal that Craig Conroy could live with, it feels like it would be done by now, unless you've got Don Sweeney grinding with Claude Lemieux and they can't get to that happy place. But I mean, it feels like that's the latest, fellas. I wish I had more to give you on that. It feels like that's
just out of personal interest, because we kind of have talked about Rasmus the whole time, and then you start getting into more details of it. And then last night, Tucker signs in LA. And I'm like, is that what happens with, with Tree calling it? Oh, wait a minute.
I was just going to say the same.
Right? Like it has some similarities where it's like, hey, Conroy's going down a path and he throws out that last, hey.
You've got these GMs that think they're shrewd and they're like, oh, I say, and then, oh, hey, I did. So are you going to trade?
Wow.
I hear it's close. Well, I mean, you got to give us a call. Maybe we're involved.
Here's our best
all
offer.
that kind of bullshit.
Okay, you're just solidifying my argument as to why I'm just keeping my powder dry here, wondering about Vegas, because that's exactly what McCrimmon and the Vegas Golden Knights do. They let all the noise build around, and they let social media do its thing, and you build up hype in Boston, and you build up hype, and maybe it's Ottawa. Geez, maybe Tree swoops back in, and then the big swing and what comes in from LA and goes, okay, we've let you guys piss around and muck around on Tucker. We're coming in with 60 large times 4. Who's topping that? 60 schmil. That's what we're giving you. Is that good? Will that work for you?
Okay with that?
Done deal.
Well, you want short term? Here's short term. Boom, more money.
Well, and it's also
windows after what, year 2? Like that deal is just bonkers. And Jays fans, I can't wait to see ownership of the Blue Jays come out. Oh, we were in it. We were in it right till the end. Yeah, sure you were.
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.